general, the job market for risk over the last 6 months has been very tough. We've seen for op risk in particular a lot of redundancies, especially with banks that are initiating their cost out programs. And most of the roles that we've seen disappear have been the potentially surplus roles that were hired in the aftermath of the Royal Commission. A lot of the people that hit the job market are relatively senior, which has been challenging because there's only been a certain number of roles for people to compete for. And as a result, salaries at the senior leadership level in risk have gone down. What I would say is that smaller financial services firms have continued to hire, and that is driven by CPS 230. We did expect to see a peak in hiring across the large financial services firms because of CPS 230, but it looks like most of those organisations are using their significant redeployment pools in order to support that piece of reg change. Another thing worth mentioning is that tech risk has remained relatively stable. Even if you look at the amount of advertising that took place over the last 6 months compared to the previous 6 months, it's exactly the same. And in all honesty, has been where we as a recruitment team have been doing a lot of our work, and we've been continuing to get requests through from our clients. I think we can expect to see a continued resurgence of financial risk. We're getting a lot of requests for quantitative roles into credit and market, and also a number of senior positions across credit portfolio oversight. But I think where we're going to see the biggest uptick is going to be across cybersecurity. The reason for that is that a number of regulated entities have fallen short of the benchmark for CPS 234 and are going to have to do a certain amount of uplift, and they're either going to be spending money on consulting or they're going to be spending it hiring the right people to do the work internally. The other driver is going to be the Security of Critical Infrastructure Act, which has now been expanded to encompass a number of different industries and will also require more from businesses that have already been captured. The reality is that senior people that are on the job market may have to revise their salary expectations over the next year. And I would advise people to not be shy of doing consulting work, potentially at a more hands-on level, or even some pro bono work just to keep yourself in the industry and seen and adding value. I would also say to cyber and resilience professionals that look a little bit further afield than financial services. There's a number of other industries now that are being captured by expanding regulations and are actually going to have to invest in this area. And there's some very exciting prospects in the market. I think it really comes down to what a candidate's stage of life is. So if we look at the more junior people that we place, it's still very much about flexible working. It's about learning and development. It is about how attractive and shiny the business that they're going to work for is, ultimately bragging rights. And then if you look at the mid to senior level, so say senior manager to executive manager level, from a salary perspective, 160 to 220, these are the people that have probably got into the housing market in the last 10 years, that are under a crushing weight of very expensive debt. And understandably, the biggest candidate drivers for that group of people is remuneration, and we're hardly seeing anything else spoken to about it. If we look at the most senior end of risk management, these are people that have done some seriously hard yards in probably financial services over the last 5 years, and purpose seems to be the major driver. A lot of people looking for a business that might be slightly smaller and that they can add significant value to, or a business that can offer them better work-life balance so that they might actually see their children.